Mic check. So today we got something special. I didn't even realize it was Valentine's Day. I've been so fucking busy today. It wouldn't make a difference anyways, but this project that we're talking about dropped specifically on Valentine's Day. So you might already know by the title, but we about to talk about the most recent Westside Gunn. So I think I spoke about it on the last album I reviewed by him, which was Still Praying, that he's been busy. A lot of people who choose to review his projects, a lot of times don't even mention half the shit that he's actually doing. So I'm not gonna play none of these tracks, but I will say I really like this album. This is 12, Free Sly for Big Dump, and I just want to get right off the bat that this album is real dope, but this last track, the outro of it really opened my eyes, and lots of people, they don't put credit on, like I said, shit that he's doing. People don't. I see a lot of people on YouTube hate on Westside Gunn's projects. They don't mention the success of the Buffalo Kids store. They don't mention the high price vinyls. They don't mention there's a lot of things that don't get mentioned, but I'm actually gonna try to see if one of those things that I'm referring to is still up online, because I'm just curious for myself. So like I said, Westside Gunn, Westside Gunn, lots of times people they don't mention stuff like this. Bam. So what we have before us is just Pray for Paris, an album that came out a while back, being sold for almost 3 racks on vinyl. The French tricolor flag variant is almost 3 racks. 3 racks. That's crazy. 3 racks. So that just gives you a glimpse of what I'm talking about. Like, this is someone who's has high price art. Like, people just never ever really put credit on that. High price art. One of the future heads of the way things are going in hip hop. Like, this is literally the dude who's the head of this shit, like leading people into the new stages of hip hop. And a lot of people don't put credit on that. So the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because we recently streamed the Fourth Rope wrestling event, the Atlanta, I think it was called Heels Have Eyes 4. Fire ass event. If you saw my review of Fredro Starr's album at the beginning of this year, he's one of the artists that opened up the show. So to me, that's big. In his review, I was saying that his production is dope as fuck, and it sounds like someone who should be producing with or for Griselda affiliates. And it's dope as hell to see that he was the opening artist on the Heels Have Eyes event. And by the way, that was a legitimate wrestling event. I haven't paid attention to wrestling in probably like 20 years plus. So to see that shit, fire. Still Praying, fire album. This album a little bit shorter, but just as fire. I literally saw someone try to tear apart the And Then You Pray For Me album, claiming that it was too long and that all these songs didn't hit and this and that. But I started realizing that a lot of these dudes who review these albums and have the highest amount of subscribers and shit are people who have never been to a barbershop, never have been to a barbecue, never have been to a dice game, never have been to, like, there's so many, never have been to a lowrider show, never have. Back to the point. So this album right here is fire. And as you can tell by the track listings, this is an album that doesn't have Conway or Benny the Butcher. For me, I always need to hear them on each other's projects, but I realized with this project that this is still fire without them. And to me, that's almost an impossible feat. This 055 track, I really like that. I don't know what it is, but I really like that one. But this Health Science is my favorite track on it. Both these tracks that got Brother Tom SOS, I'm not too familiar with him, but he really stuck a landing on both these tracks. Both these tracks, like it's just consistent. It's consistent. It really is consistent. So the first track that got released was the Outlander, and there is a music video for that, and I'm gonna pull that up in a sec. But this East Miami, I really like that. I like that. It makes me feel like it's the type of shit I would listen to at like 2 a.m. I really like that. SD Knack, I really feel like he stumbled out of a bar on both these tracks, and that's really how I like to hear him. The first time I heard SD Knack was on a album by someone named Noah the Flood, and I need to go look them up a little bit more. Super underground album. Shit was fire though. Stove God Cooks is on I think 5 tracks. Like this is a solid ass album. Boswell, I really like how they began the album with that. There's a lot of good songs on this album. I'm just gonna put it just like that. I'm not gonna go super into detail, but a lot of these songs are solid. I don't like songs that don't have a snare or a drum, but there's a couple songs like that on this track, but they really do make that shit fire because the way they got on these tracks, and I'm gonna say, I think one of those tracks that don't have a snare is with Stove God, and there's also a track that don't have a snare with SD Knack. And on all those tracks, like the way they did it, the way they went off, really remind me of Def Poetry, just hearing slam poetry just in general. And that's another thing a lot of these YouTubers don't know about. They don't know about slam poetry, which is why lots of times they end up slamming the fucking album because they're so used to hearing the shit that's been fed to us on the radio for so long that they're fucking brainwashed and just don't realize it. So anytime an artist freely thinks of something new or a new approach on anything, it's just rejected because these people are brainwashed. The people that are up on the pedestals for reviewing and criticizing any black art are people who just have not been in circles. So this is one of those projects where I feel like even before other people review it, it's probably not going to be accepted by everyone, but just know that this is art and Westside Gunn did his thing on this. I really like this album. I'm not gonna compare it to the other. I'm not gonna compare it to 10, 9, 8, none of those. This one has its own lane. This one stands on its own. But the production on this is also like, I don't think there's any Derringer or Alchemist on this. But like you know what it is? This is an all new recipe. I'm just gonna put it like that. This is an all new recipe, and I like this recipe. This works. This is fire. I like this. This album I think is really dope. In addition to how busy Westside Gunn is dealing with the store they have out there, the fourth rope wrestling, all that, a lot of people with limited time would not be able to put a project like this together, and that's really what I'm gonna leave it on. A lot of people would not be able to put a project like this together with such a limited time. So I'm gonna black this out real quick because we are going to find the most recent music video that dropped I think a couple days before this project dropped, and we are gonna react to that.
Gallery Department A6 soon, man. Yes, sir. I mean, shout out to whole Sway. We're leaving the Michael Mary party, so we got the Michael Marys on. Okay.
This jacket that he's got on is real fucking expensive. I forgot. There's a video where they say how much that shit costs, but that one right there is fucking expensive.
Gallery Department A6 soon, man. Yes, sir. I mean, shout out to whole Sway.
By the way, a lot of people don't know, but I think Westside Gunn has a shoe deal with Saucony. Saucony, real famous shoe brand from I think the 70s or 60s. A lot of athletes who used to run in the Olympics and shit used to wear that brand, but I think they have a deal with him to design shoes.
We're leaving the Michael Mary party, so we got the Michael Marys on. Okay. Cause it's only right, you know what I mean? That's my brother too in real life. Yes, sir. I got that Louis Vuitton. You know, anytime a piece costs more than 20,000, you gotta call it Louis and not Louis. You know what I'm saying? This that Louis Vuitton right now, man. You already know you got 25,000 on the top. Okay. You know what I mean? BB on the belt. You know, and I usually don't even wear belts, but fuck it, it's Fashion Week. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? 100 in each ear. Right. You know what I'm saying? Blazers. A fucking Bentley on the wrist. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. An S-Class on this wrist. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A condo in Jamaica on the neck.
I mean, this is crazy. Like, just like you all that shit that he's listing right now, you can't wear that out here. Like, you cannot step outside with that shit. But I mean, that's dope as hell. It's dope as hell to see a black man that came from the fucking darkest and dirtiest of hoods rise up to be able to not just, the song hasn't even started yet. This is literally just him just getting his shit off. But I mean, we gotta understand that fourth rope wrestling, that shit's about to take off. That shit is about to be something big as fuck. It's about to take off. I'm calling it right now because I have insight into the future. That shit is about to take off. I'm telling you, is that fourth rope, that shit's about to take off.
Yeah. Living life, man.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Miles. Hey yo, the illest shit smashed the P. Rich off drug dealing actually. This nigga's trying to act like the illest shit blasphemy. You want a kilogram with no steps, nigga asking me. These niggas won't get out of line to be a tragedy. You'll be gassing these niggas. LV sweats, woo dog.
Real quick, shout outs to Smoke Dizza. Smoke Dizza is also heavily involved in that fourth rope. I believe that both of them just tied in and put that together. I don't know exactly how it went down, but I know Smoke Dizza is heavily involved, so shout outs to him. I didn't know that he was into wrestling like that either.
Back in the jizzle. I swear I hate these rap niggas. Word to my wisdom. Seen Sheen Gun in his casket and I kissed him. Hit him broad day. Close up, how can I miss him? I can't wait to slide home. You should have seen us in prison. I had the all black crowd, a jumpsuit on a mission. The shit was just last week. I be still bullshitting. I'm on my own day. Hey yo, fuck these niggas, love. Fuck these niggas, love. Yeah, I'm on my own. I'm on my own dead, man. I'm not a fucking press.
This is crazy. Like, seeing this nigga up in Status Select Studio, that shit is blowing my mind. That shit, like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
At all. That nigga, yeah, I'm on my
fourth
own
rope.
dead. That nigga trash. That nigga trash. Yo, 3 different color roses, back to back with the blowers. Blow like the Joes, in the water like Moses. Posing in that marsh, Roddy Piper with the headlock. Hopped out the trunk with Maxwell, fake dreadlocks. It's getting scary at night. Bury your flight jacket. I was Jesus Christ in my past life. Who fucking with me? Name him. Slaying the Bottega trainer, slaving over hot stoves. Took the cookie out, amen. He already ratting on day 10. My nigga burnt. He just did a dub in his state pen. My nigga turned. Had a shootout with the state troopers. My homie got dressed. Celebrated AP the Luger. Face like a film stock and clocking. Line them up. I wash him. Every dope pants say I got it. Shit was all manifested from a cop. I'm from the east side. It's not one street you can't get shot. I'm on my own day. Yeah, I'm on my own deck. I'm on my own deck.
I feel it. Shit, I would feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm on my own deck.
not Fourth Rope, but that's the last album he did. That right there, Still Praying. It took me a second to realize that's what they were showing. But Still Praying got like a billboard out there. That's fire as fuck. Like, they don't even need a big ass billboard. They just need just that image. You already know what it is.
Hey yo, you ain't never had the parallel park or Bugatti 5K, but why you in the catch a body? Victor ups, jump on Bulgari, Wolves Chris Cup, mix codeine with the starry. Out of Paris, 8 seasons, 5 days straight, no reservation. All I had to do was rock my chains. French bitch fuck me, cause my bracelet didn't know my name. Mo went from 70 something, clip through my veins.
The dope was gray and it smelled like vinegar.
Yeah, they basically ended there. But I wanted to point all these things out. This album is fire. 12 just dropped today. Go bump it. It's not that long. I think it's like 40 minutes, but all them tracks is fire. And like even the ones that I'm usually not into, the ones that don't have snares, like they did them shits right. They went off. Like they really had that reminiscent of Def Poetry. They got Stove God Cooks on 5 songs. They got SD Knack on a couple tracks. It's fire. Like, even without Conway and Benny the Butch, like, that's a fire album. That thing really did its thing. And on top of that, Westside Gunn's really just doing his own shit. Like, I don't want to hear him trying to imitate nobody, and he doesn't imitate nobody, and that's the shit that we gotta appreciate. I'm not gonna grill niggas in this video. I literally was gonna pull up a video of someone who I personally thought was disrespecting the whole craft and everything he had done his whole life to get to this point, but then I decided not to. It's just an opinion that annoys me because the people who are placing these opinions are people who have never been invited to the circles I was talking about. So go peep it. I'm just gonna end it there. Peace out. Stay tuned for the next one.